What is our cooling source for these type of alternators?
Ram air.
Well, just plain air. Good.
Can you
What's
say what
this?
that was again?
Sure.
The first one that you said?
Come on. There you go. Thank you.
Pulley.
Man, I can't do any jokes now.
Sorry, just for my use. You could do as many.
Your own personal. Uh-oh, I'm in deep trouble now. Okay, what's this? And something. There you go. Good. What's this item right here? Bearing. Good. This.
Stator.
The field?
Thank you. Stator. How many coils in the stator? Thank you. Next. What's this item?
Commutator.
It is our rotor. What's inside here? Yeah? Yeah? Good. What is inside of here? Copper wire. Keep going. What's it called? Okay. You're all right. The reason I stopped you is for one reason we're going to get to. What is this item right here?
Field.
Thank you. Field. How many coils in the field? One. That's why when you said coils, I stopped. It's one coil. Each coil has how many ends? Two. What are these?
Slip rings?
Good. Geez. One end of the coil is connected to one slip ring. The other end of the coil is the other slip ring. Okay? Next, over here is, you see this thing that moves back and forth? This black item? What is that? Brush. Also, there's a spring. Brushes contact what?
Slip rings.
Slip rings. Good. What are these three items right here?
Diodes.
Good. Diodes. How many do you need?
3.
How many do you need? 6. Thank you. Here are 3.
And the other 3 on the
Now, here's where there's a difference. In your diagram, when I took the original picture of this board, I had taken out these 3 additional diodes and screwed them here. What has happened is everybody likes to borrow them, if you know what I mean. So when I put on this housing in the back, I kept the 3 diodes in the back, and there are 3 with this particular plate. When you do your measurements, you can see the case is one part and the actual post is the other. You have to go one and one. What am I doing?
Reversing the leads.
Polarity. Now, depending upon your meter, if you have an older type meter, you got to use ohms. Newer type meters, you might have a diode check. What you're going to do is you're going to get a breakdown voltage of it. Continuing on, in here is a capacitor. What you're going to find out is that the real way to test the capacitor is with a capacitor tester. Most guys use a ohm meter. Remember, anytime you use an ohm meter, current goes through whatever it is you're trying to sense. Then the meter says, hey, if this much amperage comes through, it must be a resistance of this. What happens is when you go across here with the capacitor, with your ohm meter, all of a sudden you're going to read infinite. And then all of a sudden the capacitor is going to start to do what to that current that is trying to be forced through?
It's going to be an infinite loop.
Well, it's going to all of a sudden start to absorb that charge, and your resistance metings will change. So it's actually a testing if you can charge the capacitor, and that's that tubular member on the inside. This whole thing is also your housing. There is a roller bearing that is in there. Sometimes end housing, yep.
And all the same answer?
Basically, this is one end housing, this is another. They both contain roller bearings. If you take a look in here about this particular roller bearing that's in there, they sometimes call this a Torrington bearing, and the reason that I mention that is because they're made by Torrington. So far so bad? Good.
The capacitor got a discharge.
Sure.
They're going to kill us.
Absolutely.
Okay then.
Go to the promised land. Come on.
I've written my will before coming to this class.
There we go. Didn't you do that with the 151 form? I give all my worldly possessions to. Okay, why did I take this one apart and this one apart? Number one, this one uses external regulation. This one has internal. If you turn around and you take a look at the Cessna 150 board behind you, if you take a look at that alternator, right above to about the 10 o'clock position, you're going to find out that black box is a voltage. So this board uses external or internal regulation?
External.
External, cool. Okay? Hint, you guys went through this board once with starter check. We are going to go back through it again with alternator check. I may do it as one big group a little bit later on tonight. How about this? It's about 10 minutes after 7. That'll give everybody time to go through the alternator board. If you have extra time, automatically head out to the King Air. Be here 10 minutes after 7. We'll all run through this board for alternator check.
Yes, perfect.
Sound good? Good. So we all have something